Good afternoon. My name is Sergeant Chris Fine. I'm a Public Information Officer with the Lee County Sheriff's Office. Standing behind me is Sheriff Carmine Marceno and representatives from our county commissioners and the Lee County School District. We called this press conference today to provide an update on school safety in Lee County. Sheriff Carmine Marceno.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here today. I want to start with a moment of silence for all the innocent lives lost during this tragedy in Texas, if you can join me. My thoughts and prayers are with you all. I want to thank our Lee County Commissioners, our County Manager, Roger DeJarlais, the Lee County School District, and other leaders for their continued support in our mission. Safe kids, safe schools. From the moment your child leaves your front door and walks to one of those 6,000 bus stops in our county, gets on the bus, arrives at school, until that child gets home, they will be safe. My team's top priority is the safety of your children, and we will use whatever resources are necessary to accomplish that goal. I have a deputy in every school and 2 deputies in a school with a population of over 1,600 students. Our School Resource Officer program is recognized as #1 in the state of Florida. We train 7 times more than is required by Florida state statute. I'm a big believer in how you train is how you perform. My school threat enforcement team works nonstop to recognize threats and investigate them immediately. We leave no stone unturned. The Real-Time Intelligence Center uses state-of-the-art technology to ensure all required information is shared immediately with the boots on the street. Our patrol deputies and detectives will physically be on campuses to add an extra layer of safety and security to our protocols that are already in place. As always, we will continue to have a strong presence at our schools. We work closely with our partners at the Lee County School District to promote a safe environment where students can learn free of fear. Parents and guardians, I'm asking you, I need your help. National media outlets reported that the shooter at Robb Elementary School just days before posted photos of guns on his Instagram account. His TikTok bio was titled, "Kids, be scared in real life." These are huge red flags. Never ignore a red flag. Be hyper vigilant and watch everything. I've said it before. See it, say it, make the call. It works. Fake threats will have real consequences. I don't care if an active shooter is 12 years old or 50 years old. My team will respond to deadly force with deadly force without hesitation. We will have law and order in this county, and my team is ready for any scenario that comes our way. Lee County Sheriff's Office are going to absolutely protect those that cannot protect themselves. Commissioner?
Thank you very much. Thank you, Sheriff, very much. Thank you to you and to your law enforcement family for all that you do. You know, I'm the dad on the Board of County Commissioners. I've got 2 kids, one in 6th grade, one in kindergarten. And this morning I dropped them off at school just like thousands of parents did around Lee County. I felt a real lump in my throat this morning as I let them out of the car and said goodbye to them because, you know, not only, you know, was I seeing my kids off, but, you know, I know what the parents, I guess I can't even imagine what the parents in Texas are going through. Like many of us around the country, our hearts are broken for them. We mourn and grieve for them. And I think as Americans, we just want to wrap our arms around them and hug them and try and bring some sort of healing and comfort to them. I can tell you one thing that comforted me as a parent this morning in Lee County, Florida, was I got a chance to wave at the school resource officer before I let my kids out of the car. We have a school resource officer who has a gun, who is right there on campus, ready to respond if anything happens at my kid's school. The doors are locked at my kid's school. I can't even get in there unless I show my ID first. And I'm comforted by that because I know somebody can't just break in there and go after the kids. In Lee County, your commissioners are fully committed to supporting security, to supporting our sheriff's office, and to making sure that our kids are safe. And we want to send our prayers and our thoughts to the folks in Texas.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Like everyone, I think we were all caught off guard a little bit yesterday by the magnitude of the tragedy. It's very hard to comprehend that, put anything of that into perspective. However, you go back and you take a look at what's going on and you try to take something out of that. A couple things. One is I have every confidence in the sheriff and his team. And the sheriff will always say there's no I in team, and he believes that and he lives it every day. So we are a team. We are a team as the law enforcement, and we've done everything, at the county level to give them the tools that they need to protect themselves and to protect all of us. And that's not just idle chatter. It's in place. This room is an example of the tools that they've been given, and they run into harm's way every day. The second thing is, when you talk about team, that's all of us. It's the family. As good as this team is, they can't be everywhere every moment of the day. And that's why I think it's very important that parents be vigilant, be aware of the surroundings. You go to a movie theater, the first thing you do is look around. Where are the exits? You see anything strange? If you see a question, then you report it. And that's how things will get done. We can't lay this off on the first responders, as good as they are. We're part of that. And when I say team, I'm talking about everybody in this room, and that includes you as well. What you do and how you cover these events and how you bring that communication to the community is vitally important. Welcome to the team. Let's hope we can do better going forward. Thanks.
Sir. As another member of the team, I'd like to make some remarks regarding the events prior. Thank you, Sheriff Marceno, for your steadfast commitment to protecting our children. Our continued collaboration is crucial to ensure our students and our employees are safe. This is an incredible team. With me today is my chief, Dave Newland, who's in charge of safety and security, who works so closely with the Sheriff's Department, who is so accommodating and so responsive so that we can work any type of even minimal threat to its safe conclusion. There are no words to express the anger and heartbreak this tragedy has caused. I joined our community in mourning the loss of life within the Robb Elementary School family. As superintendent, I mirror the sheriff and the county commissioners that my top priority is ensuring the safety and security of all students and their employees. Our parents, rest assured, we are doing everything in our power to continue to provide the safe learning environment that all of our students and staff deserve. Thank you, Commissioner, for talking about the locked doors and the information that we provide to our families. And again, I like to use the phrase, see something, say something. I know I'll get your phrase down, sir. I'm still a little new to the community, but I appreciate the opportunity that it is incumbent upon everyone in issues like this to be the individual who speaks out, because we're not talking about a minor offense. We're talking about the loss of lives, whether they be the elementary, middle, or high school level, and I appreciate the sheriff's resources and his response to these particular heinous actions. Thank you again to Sheriff Marceno and to you and your team, and all that you do to keep our community safe.
I want to touch on something Commissioner Sandelli said. I'm asking you, the media, who has the power to pick and choose, in some respect, what you report. I'm asking you to ask parents, to ask guardians, the great citizens of this county, all the people that are involved at every level that are the eyes and ears of this team. Sit your children down. Sit them down, don't wait 1 second. And you tell them, the sheriff isn't playing games. I don't play games with lives. Fake threat, real consequence. If your child or anyone you know needs help, mental health, we will get them what they need, and we will assist them to get them where they need to be to get that help. I also want to reiterate that it's another headline. It's another moment of silence. This violence in this country has to stop. It has to stop. And it takes all of us here, all of us, including you, to help make that happen. Our children are going to go to school to learn. They're going to be safe. They're going to be free of fear and safe. The days of pushing each other on a playground and getting a black eye and being best friends 5 seconds later are done. Unfortunately, what do we see? We see random acts of crazy violence, shootings, active shooter. I'm going to tell you this and leave you with this thought, and I mean this from the heart. We train more than 7 times the amount that Florida state statute requires us to. My family members know we will and must protect those that cannot protect themselves. So the message out there to an active shooter, to any person that thinks they're going to go to one of our schools and present deadly force, the message is clear. We are going to meet you with deadly force, and we are going to kill you. You don't get to shoot our children. You don't get to hurt our children. You bring deadly force in this county, we are going to kill you, and we are not going to hesitate. Our children are going to be safe. I'll take some questions.
There was a school resource officer at this school in Texas where this tragedy occurred. Is one SRO enough for schools that have like 500, 600 to 1599 students? And is 2 enough for more than 1,600? Do we need more?
So when you talk about SROs, school resource officers, we cover all the schools in this county. Would I always want more? Do we always want more? I will tell you this. Our plans are in place. You can do everything possible to mankind, and unfortunately, you're not immune to tragedy. But that one resource officer or 2, not only are they there, this is not someone that's retired on the job, okay? I have SWAT team members, people that are ready to rock and roll at these schools. When you drop your child off at school, understand that you're dropping them off, and we're in charge, and we're going to make certain your children is safe. So the plans that are in place, our training, and the ability at your radio to hit a button, and we are coming from everywhere in seconds. In seconds. I mean business when I say our children are going to be safe. You have no idea. At every level, there are so many layers of safety in place. Fake threats, every single threat. Detectives are in school. We have people that are detectives in our districts that are in the schools now, all over. Okay, so you might not see who they are, but they're in there. So while you may think, or someone may think there's one person in there, there might be 4. There might be 3. There might be more. But the message is clear. Safe kids, safe schools.
My question is for Dr. Bernier and Mr. Newland. It's obviously a really tough thing for you guys to look at now going into summer. Does this at all change, your plans in terms of reassessing any additional securities you might now need to implement?
I want to speak first to the sheriff's proactivity. We have incidents that come through the Florida system of threat assessment for our school buildings. Chief Newland is able to get law enforcement on the phone immediately, and to the sheriff's point, they are rapidly at the door, knocking on the door, talking to the student, talking to the parent, determining the level of threat assessment. As the situations unfold in this particular situation, as we get more accurate details, Chief Newland, as well as the rest of the team responsible for the safety and security of our students and staff, will use the information from this incident to look at all of our protocols and make any necessary improvements.
Can you elaborate more on the actual training? I know it takes all of us to come together after a shooting like this to be talking about it, but this is training that occurs. Is this weekly, monthly?
Every single day. okay, all over our county. I have a full training unit, 2 in particular that have decades of law enforcement experience and training, nationally recognized, that go around every single day to roll calls, that go around every single day in our schools. When the schools are on break, the school resource officers are there training, real time, active shooter. What does that look like? What's the communication like? And of course, every single time we train, we debrief and we see if we can do better. What did we do great? What could we do better with? How is the communication? So every day we just keep getting better and better, but we train at a rate more than 7 times required by Florida state statute. How you train is how you perform.
Will we be seeing more deputies for this last week of school? I spoke to my mom and she said at her son's school she saw more today.
Well, we're always out and about. Those plans don't change, but in light of what that tragedy was, what we're doing is we're just making certain that different schools throughout the county, everyone's involved, from the patrol aspect, our detectives, school resource officers. Listen, it's all hands on deck. There are a lot of things that keep you up as sheriff. Safety and security is always #1 priority, but safe kids, safe schools. You lay in bed sometimes and you say, 2, 3 in the morning, did I do everything I possibly can to ensure our children are safe? Can I do something better? Can we do something better? Again, there's no I in team. I'm so proud of our school resource officers. And I will tell you this. When we receive a threat, you're standing right here in the Real-Time Intelligence Center, all paid by drug money, bad money turned good. We have analysts that work here full-time at every desk. We have the school threat assessment team in here, detectives in the schools, but a detective here that every single time there's a threat, it comes to him immediately. We do not wait 1 second. So if we have a social media post that's a threat, we get that account information, we identify the person, and minutes later, if not seconds later, that person's out of school, we're at their house, and we are assessing that threat. And then there's risk protection orders, okay? So what does that house look like? What is the parents? Are the parents there or the guardians? Are there firearms in that house? You know, the student made a threat. Does he or she have the ability to carry that threat out? They always have ability, but is it right there in front of their fingertips? Okay? So we have a duty to make sure, especially in this county, there's so many layers, that when this school threat assessment team, when you're on that list, you go into a folder and we don't forget about you. We're constantly checking on you. Is it mental health? Let's get people the help they need. If someone needs mental health, let's get them where they need to go. But we are not going to ignore a threat. Any kind of threat is absolutely serious. And listen, we're blessed, okay? When I say team, having the ability to pick up the phone at 2 in the morning and call Dave Newland, the security director, the superintendent, the county commissioners, we communicate every day, all the time, at any time. And that's why there's no lag in communication and no stone is unturned. And it's a very passionate subject.
Commissioner Hammond had said, it stuck out to me when he mentioned the lump in his throat, dropping his kids off. And I think that's something that has been on all of our minds today, all of parents. Is there anything else the rest of you want to say, to assure parents to help them kind of take that lump down in the coming days?
I want to touch on that because the commissioner actually texted me. He was dropping his child off, and he said, Sheriff, today I dropped my child off, and I can feel, the lump in my throat, and I immediately called him. My message to the families is, listen, no one is immune to tragedy. No one is immune to having an event. We could do everything imaginable, and God forbid, something can happen. But this team in place, the technology that we have, your children are going to be safe. We don't wait 1 second for anything. I want the parents to help me. I've said it many times, but this is not just a want, it's a need. It's a need. As a citizen, as a friend, as a mom, a dad, a parent, a guardian, coworker, excuse me, when someone makes a statement that doesn't seem right, when someone texts you a picture of firearms and tons of ammunition, Those flags have to go up. Do not wait 1 second. I want them to report it. Report everything. I'd rather look into 4 million reports than one tragedy. Everyone has a duty to be on this team. And I need the parents and guardians to sit their children down. If your child has an issue, let's not camouflage it, forget about it, tuck it away. Let's address it. We want to help. We want to help. But then in the end, make no mistake, safety is going to be absolute. Any other
You
questions?
mentioned the word guardian. Should Lee County Schools reconsider the guardian program? Of course, the state-sanctioned program that allows for trained school personnel to carry weapons, not teachers. And do you support the guardian program?
I 150% support the Guardian program. We're not going to replace our school resource officer program. We've already made a deal with the Southwest Public Safety Academy. They will do the training. We will maintain the records. The more good people on our team, the more eyes and ears, the more people that want to protect our children that are properly trained, the better. So yes, absolutely I support it. I want to enhance everything we have. Look, we ranked #1 in the state for how we protect our children. I'm not finished there. We can always do better. We can always do more. I want to keep building and do everything imaginable so that I can sleep at night. It's important.
I know a lot of these messages are from parents who feel unsafe. What do you want to say to the kids who are scared to go to school?
Well, you know, unfortunately, to the kids going to school that are afraid, I understand. I understand. If you were a child and you turn the news on and you see the headlines, it's frightening. But I want those children to know. On my way in, I was driving into traffic and happened to be a mom driving with 3 of her children driving to school, and they beeped and they said, "Thank you for protecting our children." And I looked over, and this little boy looked at me, and he said, "Sheriff, thank you," in his own little words. You know, he must have been about 8 years old. And I said, "Don't worry, young man. You're going to be safe today. We got you." And I mean that. So my message is also those kids, you know your friends. You know, pay attention. Have them pay attention. If they see something they don't like in school, tell your teacher. It's important.
We got a email from a grandmother, and she actually had come from Newtown, so very sensitive subject for her. Dropped her grandson off at school today and needed to use the restroom. And she said she just felt there wasn't enough, her ID wasn't checked, no one looked at her bag. Either to Dr. Burney or to you, do you have a message for her?
Sure.
And a reassurance?
One, if that happened, if no one checked the ID, I'm not saying it didn't happen, please send me an email personally to my work email, and I'll work directly with this team to find out exactly what took place, where it was, so we can fix this. This is what we want. We want this person to come forward and say, "Look, I went to this school, they never asked for my ID, I walked right in." Those are problems, okay? And we only get better when it's not about getting somebody in trouble. It's about fixing it. It's about making certain that we target harden all our schools. A school should be like an airport. You can't just walk in, okay? You can't just open a classroom door. You can't just park your car and go right in. Those days are finished. Our schools are going to be target hardened. And I got to tell you, this team, I couldn't be more proud of our team here. I have a commission and a county manager that give me everything possible that I need to make certain our great residents are safe. Our superintendent, amazing man, he's new to the team, but since the day he came in, we've been in constant communication. We speak regularly, okay? Retired chief of police, he's the head of their security. He has that law enforcement mentality. We speak regularly. This team is here in full force, and we're going to make sure we do great things. Please get the message out to the parents, to the guardians, and to all the residents. We need their help. I need it.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you.